Tzu Chi volunteers in Bangkok lend their support to victims of the water taxi explosion. We learn more about soil liquefaction and see how the phenomenon can be properly dealt with. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Dennis Wu. Thank you for joining us. On the morning of Saturday, March 5th, a water taxi exploded at the Wat Tet Lila Pier in Bangkok, Thailand. We now join local Tzu Chi volunteers as they visited a few of the hospitalized victims.
Water taxis in Bangkok, Thailand are another form of public transportation for local residents. On March 5th, during morning peak traffic hour, a boat exploded at Siam Sap Canal. More than 60 people were injured in this accident. Worried about the victims' injuries, Bangkok Tzu Chi volunteers visited one of the hospitals to check up on them.
If you're hurting and in pain, perhaps try to chant sutras to take your mind off of it.
Among the victims is Nang Mu, a Burmese woman who has been working in Thailand for the past 4 years. She was scheduled to return to Myanmar in 2 days when she encountered this accident. Now her heart is even more longing for home. Another victim is 26-year-old Muhammad, who was critically injured and now in ICU. His family traveled 15 hours to get here to be with him.
I hope he rests more and doesn't talk as much. He asked me how bad is he hurt. But I just told him not to worry, and we'll talk about things once he recovers.
The victims' medical fees are being paid for by the boat company's insurance. However, Tzu Chi volunteers plan to stay in contact with these victims just in case further help is needed.
Over in Serbia, Tzu Chi's winter clothes distribution for refugees continues, which has won the charity the recognition that an international NGO deserves from the Serbian government. Let's see how the volunteers brought smiles to their care recipients' faces.
Asking refugee children to pick the jackets they want, the volunteer is delighted to see the precious smiles on their faces. This boy seems sad. A volunteer hugs him till he cracks a smile. This voyage has been difficult and treacherous for these children.
I no problem. Eat problem. No problem. 3 days. No food, no problem.
Without adequate food or clothes, the refugees have gone through harrowing journeys and long waits. Although food is provided at refugee camps, there are only canned food and bread.
就每天这样，对不对？
还有2瓶水。他跟我说每天都吃这个。
In addition, their only clothes are the ones on their backs.
他的衣服刚刚叫我摸他衣服。
She asked me to feel her clothes. It was wet, but she still wears it. She said that she needs clothes and pants. My heart goes out to her, and I really want to help her. I want to help her find clothes or pants.
On the 8th day of Tzu Chi's winter clothes distribution for refugees in Serbia, the volunteers continue to try their best to fulfill the needs of the refugees, including buying this man a super large jacket at a shop. Their efforts have ensured the refugees do not give up hope. Back at the camp, the refugees have taken in a dog who has just given birth. Having fled their hometowns, the refugees know the importance of care and support. The efforts of Tzu Chi volunteers have finally won the recognition of the Serbian government.
Now we have a very good position. We are accepted everywhere as international NGO. So this situation we should not lose. We should continue and hold very tightly.
All the other NGOs seem to have positive feedbacks about us. They said this organization really does a good job.
Volunteers from 12 countries continue to work with one mind, hoping to do more to help refugees in their pursuit of a better future.
Also helping refugees in need, but in Malaysia. Tzu Chi volunteers in Kuala Lumpur reached out to a Rohingya family that has escaped from Myanmar. As the father and the breadwinner of the family has fallen ill, the volunteers helped him see a doctor.
Cik, you sedang cari apa?
Cari sampah lah.
Cari sampah buat apa?
Mau jual.
Ayukam tries to find anything that can be sold at this dump site in the market to make a living. He works here every day for over 10 hours, but he only makes around $4 a day.
If I don't work for one day, my kids will have nothing to eat. I give my 3 kids 73 cents a day. On top of this, I must also pay the day's rent of $2.40. So if I don't work, we will all go starving.
We have to walk through a dark hallway to reach Khan's home. Ayukam and his family live in this cruel, tiny place. As Malaysia does not recognize any refugee status, Ayukam worries that he will get caught whenever he goes out.
I'm scared of being caught by the police, because if they catch me, what will happen to my family?
Ayukam has to support his family, so even if he falls sick, he doesn't want to spend money on going to a doctor. After hearing about him, Tzu Chi volunteers find a Tima doctor to treat him. The doctor treats him at his home. As Ayukam can't go to the doctor, a Tima doctor goes to him. Together with Tzu Chi, the Tima members will look after refugees' well-being.
Moving to the Philippines, besides inspiring medical students attending the Tima Forum with case studies from different countries, benefits of a vegetarian diet was also explained through a speech given by the CEO of Tzu Chi's medical mission.
John Cedric Arido walks onto the stage while holding his mother's hand. Tima members in the Philippines conducted an eye surgery for him, providing him with an artificial eye. Seeing the patient's recovery is a wonderful moment for all the attendees of Tima Forum. It also encourages the medical students in the audience.
Siguro, God really bring me here kasi...
I believe God brought me here for a reason. In the past 2 years, I wasn't sure if I should continue studying medicine. But today, I have decided I will, so I can join Tima.
I'm decidido na ako mag-medicine to be one of them who help other people.
Attendees come from 7 countries for the 2-day event. Lin Junlong, CEO of Tzu Chi Medical Mission, also explains why patients should be vegetarians from a medical view.
They say, you are what you eat. In other words, what you eat determines what kind of diseases you're going to have.
As a future nurse, I can advise and I also can practice having a diet that can prevent having cardiovasculars.
Talks on the cause of cardiovascular diseases and case studies are persuasive in encouraging people to embrace vegetarianism.
Even though I am a Muslim and it is a Buddhist, it's enough for mine because it makes our family healthy. So I'm happy.
A correct concept should be promoted to all, regardless of their religious beliefs or nationalities.
After the February 6th earthquake in Meinong, Kaohsiung, everyone in Taiwan is concerned about a geological phenomenon known as soil liquefaction. However, due to advancements in technology and engineering techniques, the problem can be dealt with. Currently, near the land by the Kaohsiung port that was reclaimed from the sea back in the 70s and even earlier, soil liquefaction is posing a threat to development projects there. Yet when done properly, a sophisticated billion-dollar petrochemical plant can be built on reclaimed land.
Arriving at Mailiao, Yunlin County, large smokestacks come into view, home to Formosa Petrochemical's 6th naphtha cracker plant. This plotted land, 8 by 4 kilometers in size, used to be the ocean.
这一片土地呢，纯粹都是从海底抽沙
This land was reclaimed with sea sand. It's 2,603 hectares, and since it's sandy soil, liquefaction had to be addressed.
This construction process consists of first using caissons and concrete slabs to separate the water from land. Then a sand pump dredger is used to fill in the needed land area with sea sand. To prevent the sinking of the foundation, FPCC brought in engineering techniques from Germany.
把一个25吨的这个大铁锤吊到20公尺高的。
By lifting a 25-ton hammer to a height of 25 meters and letting it drop, the hammer will compact the sand by over 1 meter. More sand is then added and the process is repeated for 33 times. We did that for every 6 meters.
To prevent soil liquefaction, ground improvements must be done in tidal land. The repetitive compressing of sand helps strengthen the foundation's property and increase its load capacity.
我们配合我们结构上的需要。
In certain areas that we knew that needed extra load capacity to support the equipment we install, we added cement pillars or steel pillars to the foundation.
或者是钢子的这个砖再打进去。
A total of 1,830 hectares of land was reconditioned for the plant, which was designed to withstand earthquakes up to 7.3 in magnitude. Thus, it was left unharmed in the aftermath of both the 9/21 earthquake and the subsequent tremor in DaAi. Even the recent February quake in Mainong left no damage.
This picture of Kaohsiung is from the Japanese colonial period. This area would be where the Hamasen region and the Yancheng district are. When the Kaohsiung port was being built, these two areas were born, using the sand dredge during construction.
As both areas are reclaimed land and are thus fragile by nature, in 2006, when the Xizhiwan station of the Kaohsiung MRT was being built, besides severe leakage at the work sites, nearby residents' homes were damaged as well.
In the past, buildings in Hamasen were rarely over 5 stories high. Besides the fact that buildings in that era were not built that high, the other reason was that reclaimed tidal land has limited load capacity.
To solve the problem, the Kaohsiung MRT made improvements to the foundation, and the construction continued on successfully. However, historians and scholars warn against overdevelopment on weak soil.
Many of the old buildings in Hamasen are only 2 or 3 stories, but when they are torn down and rebuilt to nearly 5 stories tall, often tilting or ground buckling becomes an issue. It's all because buildings are too heavy nowadays.
It is up to the Taiwan government to deal with the soil liquefaction problem in the country. But while waiting for a solution, perhaps the best way to deal with this geological hazard is to limit development.
More than a month has passed since the Mainong earthquake, and Tzu Chi volunteers are continuing their assistance to the affected residents. We now see what the volunteers have done and will be doing, so the quake victims may rebuild their lives.
虽然震央在高雄的美浓，可是这次的。
Although the epicenter was in Mainong of Kaohsiung, the earthquake caused great devastation in Tainan. The Tzu Chi brothers and sisters immediately gathered and set up the disaster command center. We set up a total of 7 service points near Weiguan Jinlong apartment complex. In about 9 days, Tzu Chi volunteers worked in shifts to provide support to every rescue worker and family of disaster victims.
We started conducting home visitations since February 11th, working with additional volunteers from other districts. We drew up 159 routes and worked until February 13th. Local volunteers will take over 549 cases, with most cases in Yujing, followed by Annan and Yongkang. There are also many cases in Daqiao. We have been stationed in the Patrol Team Service Center in the Kunshan Borough Activity Center since 9 a.m. on February 22nd. So we started another round of provision of extended care in communities.
We need to soothe the pain of the disaster victims as soon as possible, so they will not feel insecure.
有关于医院的部分，陆陆续续大家都。
Those hospitalized have gradually been discharged. Since some of them still have mobility problems, would deliver recycled hospital beds, wheelchairs, or bedpans to their temporary shelters or their relatives' places, so their relatives can take care of them. After building up a life routine, the quake victims should then feel at ease and gradually return to their normal life.
In Taiwan, many public schools in remote townships, especially in southern and eastern part of the country, are in need of serious renovation due to wear and tear. Unfortunately, both the central and local governments lack the funding to meet the school's needs, thus exposing students to the threat of studying in unsafe schools. To help, the Tzu Chi Foundation launched its Project Hope of disaster risk reduction last summer to help renovate 21 schools.
In a Taidong elementary school that is being renovated by the Tzu Chi Foundation, students are documenting the changes to their campus. Tzu Chi launched its new Project Hope of disaster risk reduction in the summer of 2015, bringing hope to dilapidated schools in remote townships. According to the control yuan of the 3,422 public primary and secondary schools in Taiwan, 1,089 are marked unsafe. The 16,972 students are going to school inside unsanctioned buildings, or buildings recommended for demolishing.
This row of classrooms was built back in the 60s, after the 9-year compulsory education was put into effect. An inspection revealed that they cannot withstand earthquakes.
I have been worried about the situation at our school. Only after they began tearing down the old building did I realize the steel bars inside were very thin. It was a blessing that none of the buildings collapsed or caused injury in all these years.
Some parts of the floor are really slippery. Perhaps an anti-slip surface can be laid down.
Even though the dangers of these schools are known, regional governments, especially the isolated ones, just don't have the funding for renovation.
Currently, we have about 10 schools that are waiting to be renovated. Each will cost the county over $1.5 million. It will take us 10 years to get all this money ready.
Every year, we can help 3 to 4 schools, but we still have over a dozen schools waiting in line. So we are very grateful to the Tzu Chi Foundation for helping to renovate the lavatories of our primary and secondary schools.
Racing against time to give children a proper learning environment, the Tzu Chi Foundation has employed 10 architects to renovate 21 schools across 4 counties, plus the lavatories of 63 schools. Because of the project, Tzu Chi volunteers have bonded with the schools. The renovations have all been customized according to the individual needs of each school.
Both the Tzu Chi Construction Department and the architects were all very responsive of both the schools and community's needs. So each school really felt that they had taken part in a renovation.
As work progressed, soon these schools in remote townships will have a new look, and students can continue to pursue their dreams free of worries.
The Taiwanese company Everridge is a company that encourages its employees to commit to public service. In 2015, nearly 8,000 of the company's employees spent time volunteering at 343 different charity events. We now see how the company helped a father and son pair in New Taipei City's Bali district.
This is 64-year-old Mr. Yang, who makes a living sorting recyclable materials. He is also the sole caretaker of his handicapped son, who suffers from spinocerebellar degeneration. The two of them live together, renting a space in this scrapyard. Besides living surrounded by garbage, the father must also carry his son up a narrow staircase daily.
I carry him down every morning, and then in the evening I carry him back up. It's getting difficult for my body. Worrying about the future won't help. There's no way around it. I'll do what I have to do.
When a private company discovered the conditions of the father and son, they quickly mobilized to clean up the home and make it more accessible. Improvements to the staircase and the bathroom will make the home safer and more comfortable.
Since we're able to come here and give this family a better living environment, we want to relieve the father's burden of carrying his son up and down the stairs so he can focus on his work.
I'm really grateful for their help.
In their desire to do good public works, this company hopes that this small show of compassion will further a cycle of love throughout Taiwan.
In Malacca, Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers also lent their assistance to a disabled man. Once hospitalized after a stroke, Lo Yo Singh has returned home after receiving proper treatment, and Tzu Chi volunteers make sure that he can live comfortably.
Tzu Chi volunteers and team of doctors have come to visit Lo Yao Xin at home.
Now that we have seen his living arrangement, we agree it's not the best. We would like to help him clean out a bit so as to give him more space and clear out what he doesn't need.
Lo was already suffering from polio when he was hospitalized because of a stroke. Last year, thanks to an elementary school reunion, his former classmates found out about his condition and looked all over for a doctor that might be able to help. Fortunately, they found Tzu Chi.
We took him to Tzu Chi's clinic for acupuncture, dental, and medical counsel.
Thanks to Tzu Chi's treatment, Lo's condition improved. The volunteers arranged for him to recover in a local rehabilitation center.
After he went there, he was able to get up on his own, use the bathroom, and also shower, so he doesn't need to return to the nursing home.
Finally, Lo has come home 3 years later, and to welcome him home, his family, classmates, and Tzu Chi volunteers are helping get his room in order.
What's most important is giving him a comfortable and accessible place to live.
Now this is a room. From top to bottom, even the bathroom is convenient.
Now you can see the sun every day from your room. The sunlight will be good for your recovery.
Offering care and encouragement, these volunteers are helping Lo see the bright light of a fresh start in life.
West Jakarta's Aris community is well known for its green initiatives because Tzu Chi volunteers began coming here 5 years ago to promote their environmental message. We now visit the community at the end of today's program. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.